You got field Negroes in America today. I'm a field Negro. The masses are the field Negroes. When they see this man's house on fire, you don't hear these little Negroes talking about our government is in trouble. They say the government is in trouble. Imagine a Negro, our government. I even heard one say our astronauts. They won't even let him near the plant. And our astronauts, our Navy, that's a Negro that's out of his mind. That's a Negro that's out of his mind. Just as the slave master in that day used Tom, the house Negro, to keep the field Negroes in check, the same old slave master today has Negroes who are nothing but modern Uncle Toms, 20th century Uncle Toms, to keep you and me in check, keep us under control, keep us passive and peaceful and nonviolent. That's Tom making you nonviolent. It's like when you go to the dentist and the man is going to take your tooth. You're going to fight him when he starts pulling. So they squirt some stuff in your jaw called Novocaine to make you think they're not doing anything to you. So you sit there and because you got all that Novocaine in your jaw, you suffer peacefully. Blood running all down your jaw. And you don't know what's happening because someone has taught you to suffer peacefully. The white man do the same thing to you in the street. When he want to put knots on your head and take advantage of you and don't have to be afraid of you fighting back, to keep you from fighting back, he get these old religious Uncle Toms to teach you and me. They're just like Novocaine, suffer peacefully. Don't stop suffering, just suffer peacefully. As Reverend Clee pointed out, let your blood flow in the streets. This is a shame. And you know he's a Christian preacher. If it's a shame to him, you know what it is to me. Because nothing in our book, the Quran, as you call it, Quran, teaches us to suffer peacefully. Our religion teaches us to be intelligent, be peaceful, be courteous, obey the law, respect everyone. But if someone puts his hand on you, send him to the cemetery. That's a good religion. In fact, that's that old-time religion. That's the one that Ma and Pa used to talk about. An eye for an eye, and a tooth for a tooth, and a head for a head, and a life for a life. That's a good religion. And then anybody, no one resents that kind of religion being taught but a wolf who intends to make you his meal. This is the way it is with the white man in America. He's a wolf, and you a sheep. Anytime a shepherd, a pastor, teach you and me not to run from the white man, and at the same time teach us don't fight the white man, he's a traitor to you and me. Don't lay down our life all by itself. No. Preserve your life. It's the best thing you got. And if you got to give it up, let it be even Stephen. The slave master took Tom and dressed him well and fed him well and even gave him a little education. Gave him a long coat and a top hat and made all the other slaves look up to him. Then he used Tom to control them. The same strategy that was used in those days is used today by the same white man. He take a Negro, so-called Negro, and make him prominent, build him up, publicize him, make him a celebrity, and then he becomes a spokesman for Negroes and a Negro leader.
and gentlemen, we are live!
Bismillah, wa salatu wa salam wa rasulullah wa ba'd. In the name of Allah, the peace and blessings of Allah be upon his last and final messenger, family, friends, foes, haters, and hateettes. Welcome back. Welcome back. It's been a long time coming, but I know a change gon' come. Yes, it is. We are back. We are back like crack. We are up in here. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. So before we begin, please subscribe, and please share. As you know, we got a hella haters up in this joint. Okay. Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Brother Joshua, hayakum Allah. Press number 1 in the chat if y'all can hear me, if the sound is good. I apologize for leaving y'all for so long, but we were essentially trying to upgrade the equipment on our end here, and we did it. Alhamdulillah. I want to thank everybody who's been supporting the channel for so long. We were able to get like upgrades on equipment, get the sound. Hopefully the sound is going good, right? We worked a lot on the sound and everything like that. So hopefully everything is good in the hood. Number 1's in the chat if y'all can hear me. We are here again and again. I hope y'all had a blessed Ramadan. I hope y'all had a blessed Eid. I hope your Eid was good. I hope everything was good, y'all. I hope it was all good. You know, may Allah reward you all. May Allah bless you all, and may Allah I hope Allah accepted your fast and your prayers and your tahajjud and your reading of Quran and everything. Taqabbalallahu minna wa minkum. Like, subscribe, share. Hit me up on Patreon, family. Let us begin, family. Family, I wanted to talk about this when it first came out in terms of what was going on in Philly and the shootings that happened there. And, you know, as I said, I was upgrading the equipment, so we didn't get a chance to do it. But now I was going to do a series, but I said it's probably going to take too long to do that because of editing and whatnot. I'm doing all this kind of stuff, on my lonesome out here, right? So, inshallah, we're going to do it live, okay? So, let's get in it. Inshallah. Hayakum Allah. Family, black folks have been prone to the influence of an evil, wicked enemy for a very long time. When you look at the project, which is known as the Black Man, you'll see patterns of behavior which are self-immolating, unnatural, and destructive. This is because no one on earth shares our history. We got to understand this. No one on earth shares our history. And no one on earth has empathy for our experience. As a matter of fact, there is a global commonality in the way that other people see us as black people. Except for a very few, we are treated like we are nothing less than hideous contaminations and the splendor Allah gifted us with in this thing we call life. So, what do you get when you rob a people of their names, when you rob a people of their culture, when you rob a people of their God, their language, their sense of humanity, their dignity, and you find every way imaginable to lock them out of being functional members of society, and you destroy their family structures, and you restrict access to wealth, and on and on and on. And you turn around and tell them to go pick themselves up by their bootstraps and stuff. Right? What do you get except a self-hating, self-loathing, desperate, pathetic, despised sort of a human being? And this very situation was the very same situations with the desert Arabs before the advent of Islam. They were despised. They were low down. They were pathetic. They were unruly, uncouth, uncivilized. They were a backwards bastard of a people. Then when Islam came, it delivered them from this type of ignorance that they were suffering under, from tribal war, alcoholism, illiteracy, superstition, and all kinds and all types of sorts of oppression. There are no other people, in my humble estimation, I said this before, that resemble the ignorant desert Arabs of old more than the descendants of slaves here in the West. The blueprint for them should actually be the blueprint for us, correct? So we should be using what Allah himself revealed to mankind as the blueprint to developing the innate brilliance of black children, correct? That's what we should be doing. I'm just saying. Okay? But instead, in typical Negro fashion, we have used the language and the look of outsiders to fight dogmatic battles for the behest and the benefit of foreigners. This is how we use an original of Islam. Which brings us to our topic today, the Eid al-Fitr of 2024 in Philly, which got shot up. Okay? Those particular individuals who have this type of self-immolating hatred for black folk, when they came into Islam, all they really did was they traded in their baggy pants and crosses for white thobes. And we have 30 solid years of fighting dogmatic warfare against other black folk for the benefit of people that are not us. Y'all hearing me? So when they traded in their blue jeans and their crosses for white thopes, it would have been appropriate for them to wear hoods to match that white thope. Because these folks are the new KKK. The kin, killing kin. Not Ku Klux Klan. Kin, killing kin. That's who they are. We see what is going on very clearly in the black community, particularly in downtrodden areas, inner cities, where, again, the enemy has come in and kept us in our mental slavery, kept us in the slumber, which we call being black in the West. The enemy, and we put this out already, that the enemy studies Islam very well. They learn the Arabic language, they learn the Quran, they learn the Sunnah, and they learn us in order to exploit us, to keep us as a permanent underclass. And when you have this Quran and the Sunnah, you are supposed to be using it for yourself, your family, and the wider community around you. You're supposed to be making society better. But we have been tricked and duped and hoodwinked into making sure that we find every way possible to continue hating each other, but now in thopes. That's it. That's all we done. Typical Negro fashion. So I want to show y'all something because I'm pretty sure most of y'all have watched all the news surrounding the shootout and whatnot. So just give me a second, y'all. Let me just show y'all something. Like, subscribe, share, hit me up on Patreon. So over here, we have this article put out by Guidance Residential. Okay? Guidance Residential puts out this article, Where Do Most Muslims Live in America? And they have the largest Muslim populations in the U.S. Y'all can read the article. Maybe I'll post it in the description so y'all can check it out later. So over here, we have Illinois, New York, New Jersey, Maryland, Michigan, Virginia, Massachusetts, Arizona, and Cali. Okay? These are the states. Okay? Then you go by city. New York, number 1. Houston, Texas, number 2. Philly, number 3. Then you get LA and Patterson, New Jersey. If you look at New York, Philly, and LA, the large population of Muslims in these cities are black Muslims. Then you have probably Houston will be like second somewhere. Then you have, well, we all know about Dearborn. Dearborn is mostly immigrants. Houston as well as a lot of immigrants as well, but a lot of black folk, okay? But the point is, Philly's up in here, okay? By population number 3. We don't know if they ordered them, actually the numbers, but we know that at least top 6 in terms of Muslim population. Philly has a reputation of being almost like a Muslim country. Okay, there's so many Muslims in Philly. Okay, so I wanted to show y'all that first because we know that wherever Islam is, it's supposed to make the areas better, correct? Now let me show y'all something. 1 second, y'all. Let me just get this up. One second, y'all. Like, subscribe, share, hit me up on Patreon, y'all. 1 second, y'all. Let me just try to see if I can pull this. I don't know if I can pull this up. Let's see. Why is this happening? 1 second. Okay, there you go. All right, let me pull this up here for y'all. Okay. Philadelphia has the highest murder rate per capita among country's 10 largest cities. This was put out in July 23rd, 2021. Not even 3 years ago. This is a CBC News article. Years ago, we also put out what was going on in the Muslim cemeteries out there in Philly. We put that out there. We showed y'all that the cemeteries are filled, absolutely filled to the brim of black bodies, teenagers and young black men murdering each other over the gang life. So this article says, as for Thursday, number of homicide victims in Philadelphia this year is up at least 314 people. That's up 35% from the time last year. This is back in, as I mentioned before, 2021, right? Some of y'all can look this up, the new numbers, but even still I'm pretty sure it's either the most or one of the most in the United States. Philly, okay? And we also told y'all that Philly also ranks at least top 6 in Muslim population, correct? So the question is, how do you get more Muslims and more murder? How does that happen? You mean you get more Muslims and more murder at the same time? How? How is that a thing? Also, Philly. PA city highest SCT rates in U.S. report. You can't make this stuff up, family. This one is January 23rd, 2024. Look here. Research specifically used recent information regarding cases of syphilis, HIV, chlamydia, and gonorrhea. It was Philadelphia that topped the list that saw the highest rate of STDs against its population, 1,504 per 100,000 people. So, the question is, after 30 solid years of teaching Usul al-Thalatha, okay, you can't really blame the Salafis specifically for this. So we got to be fair. Because it ain't just the Salafis. The Sufis are following into this. The Wardi Muhammad community following into everybody. If you're black and you're Muslim in Philly, you fall into it. Okay? It's everybody. How you get more Sunnah and more STDs at the same time? How you do that? How you do that? Also, Philly. This is pure research now. Philadelphia had the second highest rate of drug overdose deaths in 2016 among the nation's 44 countries with over 1 million residents, 46 per 100,000 residents, with the most attributed to the misuse of opioids. Also, Philly, family. So the question becomes, how you get more Muslims and more drug use at the same time? Do you know how you do it? Do you know how you do it? This is how you do it, family. You tell the people the same things that you told them in Christianity, but you just mix it up a little bit, right? So instead of saying all you got to do is believe in Lord Jesus, all the kind of stuff, just believe. You tell them, all you got to do is believe in Allah. And if you're Salafi, follow the Quran and the Sunnah, understanding of the Salaf. If you're a Sufi, make sure that you refute some Wahhabi somewhere. The very same divide and conquer tactics that the enemy used before Islam, the same divide and conquer tactics they use after Islam. The same thing. So now, if you look at the life of the Sahaba, the companions of the Prophet ﷺ, they weren't folks that just kind of took an ayah or took a hadith and just started becoming reciters of the ayah and the hadith like that. When they heard an ayah or they heard a hadith of the Prophet ﷺ, they immediately started implementing and practicing it. Which is something, if you've been Muslim for a long time, you know very well, this is something that we actually used to do. If you've been Muslim for more than 20, 30 years, particularly black Muslims, we took a lot of pride in practicing actual Islam. Then we started hearing excuses on how to hate on our own people. We started coming up with all kinds of creative ways to hate on our own people. And we never asked the question. We never asked,
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Wait, first of all, you're not going to speed past that like you didn't just say what you just said.
we never asked nothing. So we have this generation now, a youth coming up. They don't care nothing about who's on it, who's off it, all kind of stuff. They are living in a completely different world than those of us who are older are living in. And we, as black Muslims, we have very specific needs and very specific issues that need very specific addressing. And instead of addressing these issues very specifically and pointedly, like, I don't know, what would you look at before? Like, I don't know, perhaps, hold on, y'all. Hold on, y'all. Let me just pull this up. Like this. For example, this. Maybe we should start, dealing with the drug issues in our communities. Maybe we should start dealing with the STD issues in our communities. Maybe we should start dealing with the murder rate issues in our communities. Very specific issues. These are would you not agree that this is specific, family? Yes or no? Gang related issues. Crime issues. Would you not say that these are specific issues that need addressing? I'm just saying. To me, it looks specific. Instead of dealing with that, all we do is go back to the same old, tired habits that we had when we were in the church. The same stuff. Nobody want to say it. we have an enemy. Okay? Nobody wants to say it. And it's so obvious. Who are these folks that are bringing the drugs into black communities? Is it black folks? Somebody answer, please. Is it black people bringing those drugs into black communities? Yes or no, please? Are we the ones that are flying it all the way from Colombia or Venezuela or now it's the opiates, right? So those are coming from Afghanistan and you know all these other East. Are we the ones doing that? Is it us? Are we the ones that are bringing guns into the black community? Is it us? Somebody answer, family. I need some answers. Inquiring minds need to know. Where are all of these gun manufacturing companies in the hood that got these youth shooting each other up? Where are they? Is it us, family? We put out here a while ago that the KKK, they have admitted going into black communities, leaving crates of guns for people to find, particularly in Chicago. And these guns end up on the streets, and these youth start killing each other. Let me ask you, how many people memorizing the Surah Al-Falah is going to fix that? Again, we can't just say this is the Salafis though, for sure. We can't say all the onus is on the Salafi. We can't say that for sure, 100%. Sufis be doing it. Ash'aris be doing it. Or the Muhammad community, everybody got something to blame, because we are looking at our own people with disdain, the same disdain of our enemy, and we're pretending like somehow some sort of magical belief will just change everything. If you just believe hard enough, it's going to change. This stuff is going to change. Just believe hard enough. Ain't nothing in the history of them ever changed from people just believing hard enough. In Islam, your belief in Allah is directly linked to the actions that you do. The Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he said that changing something from the path, this is a part of Iman. And changing an evil with your tongue, this is a part of Iman. And hating an evil in your heart is a part of Iman. And the least of faith is to hate it in your heart, which means the highest level of faith is changing wickedness and evil with your hands. Do we not have a whole lot of evil to change with our hands in the black community? These things are not going to change with our heart. These things are not going to change with us hating it in our heart. That is not enough, family. I'm sorry to tell you that. Okay? Y'all are out here pretending that somehow Islam erased your blackness. You're still black. Y'all are still Negroes. And you should be utilizing Islam to change the wickedness and the evil that is in your own communities. That's how you should be worshiping Allah. Every single time you get some, and we called this out many times, some serious black students of knowledge or black scholarship or whatnot, always some foreigner ready and willing, or some raccoon somewhere, too eager to kick them off. Just too eager to, the people that love you and are, concerned about you and your community, very eager to kick them off. And now we have a situation here in 2024 where your YouTubian da'i elites, the rabid Roibada of social media, and make no mistake, these are Roibada. They are Roibada, okay? They're not even shy about their acceptance of white supremacy. They're very open and bold about it. And forthcoming about it. But y'all can't be black, and y'all Muslim now, so you can't be black. I'm Muslim now, I'm not black. Remember one of them raccoons we put out the video? Well, we're Muslim now, we can't like Malcolm X. Remember we put that out? This is how they talking to you. Because when you become Muslim, all of a sudden the world will love you and respect you and look at you differently because you became Muslim. Oh, he's Muslim now? Okay. Alhamdulillah, he's my brother. Is that how the world works? And what planet? And what planet? In which time, in which era did it ever work like that? The world has never worked like that. If the world worked like that, then why would the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu explicitly specify in his last sermon, his very last khutbah he ever gave, he said that there is no superiority of the white over the black or the Arab over the non-Arab, but rather the superiority is with taqwa. Why would he specify something like that if this superiority complex would not exist? Somebody make it make sense. He's not specifying this because it disappeared when he said it. He's specifying this because he's warning those people who practice it that this is totally against the religion of Islam. And they use this very statement, those folks who want to practice racism and bigotry and prejudice, they use that very same statement of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam to pacify you, so that your children can live in a totally different universe than their universe, so that your children get access to guns, and your children get access to drugs, and your children start fighting over territory that they don't even own to begin with. You don't own the streets that you're killing each other on. You don't own the streets that you're selling drugs on. You don't own the jails that you get put into. And when you come out of the jails, you can't get no job, so that you gotta always be in perpetual state of criminality. You don't own any of that. Some fake territories and lines and everything like that are very specific to the black experience and engineered and modified to act exactly the way it's acting right now. And what you should be doing is using Islam to end it. But instead of using Islam to end it, you use it to bolster it and find some other reasons to go and yell at some other Negro somewhere. Like, oh, I'm gonna get in trouble for this one, but like the Black Imams Round Table, okay, like the anti-Wahhabi coalition of Negroes, okay, like dumb folks, day after day, week after week, month after month, they got to be talking about Wahhabi, and meanwhile, Negroes are shooting each other in the streets, like that stuff. So what is incumbent upon you, Black Muslims? And I said it before, I'm going to say it one more again, okay? The first thing, y'all, it's not just about the leadership. The followership has just as much as a responsibility to their own people as the leadership. The followership has just as much as a responsibility to their own people as the leadership. Why is it that every single time you get some Black imam somewhere, he got to get refuted, and then it got to be the Negroes to be the first and foremost to go and try to eviscerate and decimate the reputation of the same Black imams that are in their own community? Like every single time? We can't have a single one. So when that stuff happens, you need to start being on code. You need to start respecting your Black scholarship and imamship. And the imams, as for the imams have access to the general community. They don't need to get everybody on board. They just need to get a few people on board. That's it. There are so many things that the Black community needs. Why are these children killing each other in the streets? Because Islam, the way that it's been pushed in the Black community right now, it's only being pushed to keep Black people at a certain educational and economic level. It's not being pushed in the Black community as something revolutionizing and uplifting. Not in the least. Not in the least. It's being peddled as the very same opiates that the people are dying of in Philly, just to keep the people asleep and arguing for hours and hours and hours and hours and hours on end on social media over some dogmatic nonsense. The same hours that you spend with your Facebook fights, you could be educating yourself. You could be learning the Arabic language, learning Quran, all that kind of stuff. And why are we learning the Quran to begin with? Are we learning the Quran so that we can say that we learned the Quran? Is that why we're learning it? Or are we learning the Quran to implement it? Where is the Hifz school started and founded and run by Black Muslims from the West? Where is it? I don't mean the Black Africans from the East that came to the West. I mean us, the children of slavery. Where are the businesses? And when I say businesses, I don't mean the brother who is hustling, selling essence oils at the masjid on Jummah. And respect to those brothers. We got to give them respect. You got to understand that black people will forever be locked out of economics in the West. You got to understand this concept. Once you understand this concept, it becomes not only easier to understand the importance of working together, but necessary. Because your enemy will do everything they possibly can to suppress you economically. And it starts with the social contract with the people, like broken marriages, like single motherhood, like gangsterism, and selling drugs, and rampant, abhorrent, illicit sexual promiscuity, and packaging it as marriage. Every year, sisters got a new husband. Marry, divorce, marry, divorce, marry, divorce, marry, divorce. At what point do we say as a community, any brother who marries that sister, we are cutting him off? What point do we say that? If there are no consequences to actions, then there is no incentive for people to stop what they're doing, correct? Which goes back to me saying the imams, they themselves have access to who's who and networking within the community. And they don't have to get everybody on board. They just have to get a few people on board and then get the ball rolling from there. The people in general, they are the ones who must accept the social contract, which is basically under the shadow of Islam. And they have to accept it communally. What do you mean, Bida? What I mean is, if there is no incentive for people to remain married or remain out of these illicit sexual relationships or whatnot, they're just going to keep doing it because they're not being punished. Believing is not enough. Now, if you look at these young people in Philly that shot each other up, okay, on the Eid, mind you, that didn't happen just on the Eid. That is 30 years in the making. It didn't just start on that Eid. And if you're thinking about security now, then you're just too late, because that is not the solution. The solution is the bolstering of the social contract. That is the solution. Power always comes from the ground up. It never comes from the top down. These folks, why are they doing it? They're doing it for the same reasons that any other person joins a gang or whatever. For protection, for economic stability, all the type of things that people join. That's why they're doing it. So we, the Muslims, we have our own economic program. We have our own method of doing security. If you are not providing that, then it's only natural that they're going to seek it somewhere else, especially if they're not connected to Islam other than learning some tired dogmatic books that have nothing to do with us. Sorry to say it like that, but you get me? They can't relate to you. They can't. Those of y'all who used to be Christians, okay, and you've been if you were around in the 90s or whatnot, you used to be Christian and whatnot, and when your grandma was forcing you to go to church on Sunday, and you had to go through that ritual of waking up early, taking a shower, getting your best itchy church clothes. I remember this so clearly, bro. Getting your itchy, clean, pressed church clothes on, going for hours upon hours upon hours upon end, right? Let me ask y'all something. Did you like it? Could you relate to your grandma when she was doing all that stuff to you? Did you enjoy that? Especially if you're like me, because we came from a Catholic family. We was worshiping white Jesus, okay? We didn't go to the black church. We went to the white church, and that was boring as hell, okay? It was so boring. It was the Sundays were like the worst day of the week for us, okay? We hated that. I couldn't relate to my grandma, my father, and going to church and that kind of stuff. I tried, but I couldn't do it. When we became Muslim, we loved the masjid. We enjoyed going to the masjid. We were excited to go to the masjid. The masjid was totally different. The masjid was a place of brotherhood and connections. And then the foreigners came. And then what happened, family? I mean, some foreigners are here and there and all kind of stuff, right? They were here and there, you know. But they were really a non-factor. It wasn't until, again, we got flooded by immigrants that the whole vibe of the masjid totally changed. And then the masjid started turning into cultural centers. And then your imams who actually studied were seen as nobodies. And you couldn't see your religion except through the tongue of an Arab from some other country somewhere. Right? You couldn't do it. If a black person said it, you couldn't respect it. It had to be an Arab. Even some of y'all started speaking in your Arabic accents and everything. Brother, you have to do what you have to do. Y'all started talking like that, bro. Tell me I'm lying. Your kids ain't growing up like that. How that benefiting your kids? My brother, when you are reciting Al-Fatiha, you must say Alhamdulillahi. Alhamdulillahi. Your kids can't relate to that, man. How is that helping them? So the way that they looking at you is the same way that we used to look at the church. That's what's going on. You get it? Between the time of 9/11 and now, the whole dynamic in the masjid totally changed. It totally changed. When the messages became cultural centers, not a single black Muslim felt welcome. Not one. I challenge you. Okay, where are these unless they raccooning somewhere, and they're easily, manipulated into self-hate, trying to be something that they're not. You will not find a single self-respecting black Muslim that felt welcome in these cultural centers up until this very day. And then the black masajid, which are really, they're more like dawah centers, most of them anyways. Most of the black masajid, up until this day, you could say that the black masajid are more like dawah centers than actual masajid. They're kind of dusty, and they're not really well run, professional, whatnot. But what were they doing? They were using their bully pulpits to push whatever, school of thought they was following. So who gets left out in the dust? It's y'all. Y'all get left out in the dust. You can't have your cake and eat it too. You can't demand other people change the community and you're not going to be the change in your community either. Either you're going to raise your self-consciousness and raise your self-awareness and put in a ridiculous amount of work and self-improvement, which will in turn trickle down to the improvement in the community. Or you can just talk about, we need security next year for Eid and stuff like that. Like that's that's the solution. The solution is well beyond security. There is too much work for us to do for any single one of us to be taking a break. And there's way too much work for us to do for us to be arguing with each other on the internet for hours and days on end, just to boost our egos from people cheerleading us by sending us likes and you got him and all. It's like, what? How does that help us? How? Y'all need to ask, what is in you that you can give to the community for the sake of Allah? That's how you should be worshiping Allah. Like the Feachaz right now. I said it before, I say it again. This work that we're doing on the Feachaz for black Muslims, I worship Allah by this. I hope Allah, and I pray that Allah makes it heavy on my scales and your scales for liking and sharing and subscribing and supporting the channel on Yawm al-Qiyamah. Ameen. We are out here telling you things that nobody else will tell you. Like, if you follow a YouTuber, forget Islamic guidance, you're a damn idiot. Okay? The second it'll be so easy for y'all to figure out if I'm tripping or not. Because if I start changing my tune, suddenly you'll be like, don't be loud tripping, man. We got to cut him off. He told us to cut off anybody who does this, including us. I'm going to cut him off. It's simple. And you'll be doing me a favor by doing that as well. We are in the front lines here on the Feachaz. We have taken a hella abuse, okay? a hell of abuse because of our positions. But why would we back down though? Why? We all know as black Muslims, black folk in general, that we have these problems and they need to be resolved. And we are not going to be able to do this on an individual level. We have to do it with each other. Every single one of us can do something. And most of all, we need the help of Allah to make these differences as well. But anyways, family, I'm going to close it out right now. Like, subscribe, share, hit me up on Patreon, family. I'd like to thank all of y'all for joining me. I apologize for keeping y'all waiting for so long, but alhamdulillah, we got it all sorted out. I want to thank everybody for supporting the channel. I want to thank y'all for joining me tonight. And we'll see y'all tomorrow, inshallah. Subhanakallah wa bihamdik wa shahada li ant wa astaghfiruka wa atubu ilaik. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi